Stormgate released their third race and their release date. We're gonna watch the trailer together and then discuss it.
Before the Infernals invaded us on Earth and destroyed human civilization, they engaged in battle with their sworn enemies, the Celestial Armada. Angelic form merged with advanced technology. The Celestials fight unlike anything we've seen, harnessing both light and darkness. They have new ways to mine resources and centralized army production. Their flying arc ship cascades power, which they use to expand infrastructure, energize their army, and enhance their abilities.
Enemies beware.
Now, the Celestial Armada is here. Earth is the latest battleground, and the war, it's just getting started.
For pre-purchasers, July 30. For everyone, early access starts August 13, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, August 13. So, the Celestial Armada. Before I say a lot, I want to show you a picture or an impression of what the bigger mainstream people or what the general audience is thinking about it. And who better for this opinion than Asmongold? Asmongold has played this game already and he watched the PC Gaming Show yesterday. And I think his reaction says everything you need to know.
Before the Infernals invaded us on Earth and destroyed human civilization, they engaged in battle with their sworn enemies, the Celestial Armada.
The Protoss.
Angelic form.
Within the blink of an eye. The Protoss. I thought, okay, maybe that's a bit superficial. Let's check out the Stormgate subreddit, because if you hang out with the Stormgate subreddit, you probably like that, right? And want to support it. So, Stormgate subreddit, main thread for the faction reveal, 280 upvotes, 280 comments as well. Top comment, 200 upvotes. Definitely not Protoss. Effin' ouch. That hurts. It's the same reaction that the game got after the initial reveal, where they said the Vanguard is Terran. After the demons were revealed, everybody said it's kind of Zerg. And now we get Protoss. I'm not talking gameplay. Not at all. No gameplay included whatsoever. Just first impression. Because before a player, whether that's a returning player, whether that's a player from another RTS, or whether that's a player new to the genre, you gotta... You have to want to play the game, right? So these people see it as like, oh, just like StarCraft. And to be honest, I think it's a bit different, but we all know that one of the big slogans of Frost Giant and Stormgate, etc., is made by former Blizzard employees. They plastered that everywhere. They put a bunch of stickers and plastered it everywhere, right? Former Blizzard, former Blizzard, former Blizzard. And then they make Terran, kinda Zerg, and kinda Protoss, while they take the lore of Diablo with demons versus angels versus humans. And then as a showed you 2 days ago or something, they also released tier 3 units that look like Overwatch characters. I gotta say, that's pretty uncreative. That's pretty bland. And I think Stormgate is catching a lot of negative flack in the past 6 months. I played the game a lot. I liked the game a lot. I casted the game and it was super fun. But I can totally understand it. Especially on a more superficial level from people who did not play it or are not that interested. For the next big thing in RTS, there's a lot of backlash. So there is a developer's interview that gives you a better idea of the race, and we'll watch that together too. But the first impression is pretty bad. Also, that trailer. Let me just talk about the trailer for a bit. I think the visuals in general have been stepped up, and it's kind of interesting to see like the terrain, right? This destroyed city. This is a cool impression, but this is the first impression of a third faction unit. And then the demons are watching at it, and then they appear like this, like in a PowerPoint slide, basically everything arranged here. This is not really like super cool, because everybody has been waiting for that third faction, right? What's the third faction? That was the big mystery that was still left in the marketing of this game. What's the third faction? What's the third faction? And then this is the reveal. And the thing is, they do it a lot better in their own trailer. And that is fascinating. So, in this setup, you got the Vanguard people here, waiting here. You got the demons there as well. They're waiting for the arrival, and boom! Why are you not creating a setting where Vanguard and demons are facing each other, waiting for William Wallace in space to yell, and then the alien crashes down to give you an impact, and then the celestial people fly in? That would have been a lot cooler, in my opinion, than just this triple triad three-way dance. So, missed opportunity, in my opinion. Also, just from pure visuals, there's a lot of triangles. I have nothing against triangles, but this doesn't look finished. I don't know what the state of the visuals are, but this looks unfinished and janky, some parts of the race at least. Like, it goes right through the rocks, does it not? Like, this is a part of the building. It goes right through. Doesn't look mega quality, to be honest. I think they have some cool units. These guys, they're certainly inspired by that Star Wars dude who collects laser swords. And it's dope. I like it. Very, very cool. They also roll like some Star Wars aliens. Love that. That's a really, really cool unit. But I don't see that much of it. Yeah. And that's a bit of the essence. A bit uninspired. Classic angels, demons, humans trope. And for a faction reveal that took 1.5 years is really not that crazy. But the gameplay is innovative. Everybody says, of course, it's Protoss. And from a visual perspective, as I said, that's right. Also lore-wise, 100%. We'll get back into that later. Gameplay? Not really. I don't know if you heard it in the trailer, but these guys have no real main base. And I like that they took the leap of faith. That they want to bring something new. That was necessary for this game to have something new. Do I think that this will work particularly well? And that it doesn't have risks or anything? Absolutely not. I'm very curious how this will play out in the long run. But let's take a look at their own video. Stormgate behind the scenes. Am I still there? Yeah. Stormgate behind the scenes trailer. I got another criticism like 1 minute into the game or something. Into the video. So let's go.
The Celestial Armada is this dying alien race that is moving through the galaxy, and they are ancient beings that stretch back to the origins of the universe itself, and everything from their...
So, remember that sentence? These guys are ancient beings, origins of the universe. Bro. I'm looking up the StarCraft wiki, and it says the Protoss are an ancient race and they consider themselves the firstborn. Like, you make it so easy for people to criticize you. Like, that's the first sentence on the wiki article of Protoss. Ouch, dude. Ouch. Why?
Their beings to their civilization and where they live is technologically driven. And
you heard that? Let's rewind real quick.
everything from their beings to their civilization and where they live is technologically driven. And
technologically driven. Wiki article Protoss. Their advanced technologically complements their enhanced psionic mastery. It's again the same. It's just absolutely the same.
And we love playing into that mechanically with how they express themselves on the battlefield in the game. With each faction that we develop, we start with a core identity. The Vanguard, we have this plucky human resistance. They're about adaptability, and with the Infernals, we really explored the idea of a unit-focused faction that could have a different way of summoning their troops into the battlefield. With the Celestials, when we started out, we really wanted to push a lot of boundaries. And we thought, how can we make a building-focused faction? And also a faction that introduces map-wide mobility. They are anchored by this idea that they're descending into the atmosphere from the Celestial Armada. And so when you're playing as this faction and can build structures all across the map in different places very easily, in many ways it becomes this strategic dance about where the conflict is playing out on a map. So
that's the selling point of the race. That's the interesting part of the race. Because, yeah, there probably have been some attempts of this. I heard one faction in Age of Empires might be similar-ish. Wasn't the alien race in Command and Conquer also somehow like this? But not this way. And as I said, I commend them and I compliment them for taking this leap of faith. I like the idea. Building focused. Go everywhere on the map. So I've played them. And this turned out to be very abusable, I can say. They, of course, take some tropes from the Protoss again, like the warp in, but it's a bit different. But it's fresh, it's new. It's probably the freshest and most innovating thing Stormgate has done outside of technology of the game. And they hide it behind this easy to criticize look with the easy to criticize lore. And I think that's a missed opportunity, and it's kind of sad.
places very easily. In many ways, it becomes this strategic dance about where the conflict is playing out on a map. So we've kind of shifted the focus onto the buildings themselves. There's going to be
you
a
see
lot
these
of
guys? I love this unit so much.
kind of shifted
Look at the little rolling balls.
the focus onto the buildings
Here.
themselves. There's going to be a lot of
This
emergent
unit is
gameplay
so awesome.
that players will discover on their own
It's this
that
unit.
we are not planning for. And that's actually what we want from the Celestials. Is we want to give players a bunch of options, a bunch of flexibility, and a bunch of interesting toys to play with, and then see what comes out the other side. And if you're the type of player that really likes coming up with this innovative way to outsmart opponents, the Celestial faction is designed for you.
With Celestials, we've really done something that is pure original thinking from this team that is not something that we've seen before in a real-time strategy game. And it
He means gameplay. He means gameplay. Not the look, not the lore. He means gameplay.
took a lot of iteration to get to the point that it felt balanced and where it felt correctly comparable to the other two races.
Stormgate
So, yeah, as I said, people found out ways to exploit it, but you know, balance is always doable. I really, really hope that it's not broken to the core, because one race has basically no base, and the others two do. Thank you, Zach, for the sub. Is today 100 days, by the way? It is.
It is a Blizzard-style RTS. And so by saying that we're continuing the legacy of Warcraft and StarCraft, we're really looking at that core RTS experience. But we really believe that even within a Blizzard-style RTS, there's a lot of room to innovate, and there's a lot of creative boundaries that can be pushed to bring new styles of play and new experiences for players. And so we are really excited about bringing a lot of new ideas into the genre. We want you to have this asymmetric experience where playing one faction or another faction really feels almost like a different game entirely.
And in that, they're doing a good job. They do. That goal absolutely achieved. By the way, dear developers, please stop using the word excited. It's so overused. To give you an example of that, I went on Twitter earlier. You know, with every video game conference, stream, etc., we have an excited counter. Today, I got a double whammy excited in one tweet. Frostgiant is excited to share that we're partnering with our friends, blah, blah, blah. Together, we're excited to bring Stormgate. Like, bro. Stop using the word excited. Excited must be eliminated for game developers.
Our technology runs at a higher tick rate than any real-time strategy game that's ever come before. In a nutshell, essentially what that means is, as a player, the time between clicking and seeing their actions take place is faster than any other RTS game that's really ever come out. As a player, it just feels really, really good to play.
One of the biggest design challenges that we faced with Stormgate is creating a game that maintains the high skill gameplay that has been the heart of RTS for so long, but still provides an on-ramp for new players coming in that doesn't scare them away. It's okay to be a high skill game. It's actually a good and appealing thing. We never want to water down that aspect of RTS, but we talk a lot about lowering the skill floor, which means making it more approachable for new players coming in without taking away the high skill elements of the game that make RTS so exciting. Early access is much more about bringing the community along with us and benefiting from that feedback that the community provides us to really make the game what they tell us they want. We've been having conversations with the community, and together, hopefully, that we really are able to craft something that feels collaborative. We're sharing it at a much earlier stage than any game that we've worked on in the past. But it is a better way to make games. I believe that Stormgate, as it evolves, will turn into something that is literally the best game that we've ever worked on as a result.
We hope you've enjoyed this exclusive first look at our Celestial faction. Stormgate's free to play. It's available to everyone and will be launching fully into early access on August 13th. but you can join us before then on July 30th by going to Steam and picking up one of our bundles that's available today.
Yep. That's the release date, as I said before. So yeah, that's it. Big down for the faction, for the lore, for the trope of angels versus demons. It's Diablo. It's StarCraft. And to be honest, the way they worded it and the way we just showed it, sorry, that's just what it is. And that overshadows the cool things that they are doing with this game. I still think it can be very, very, very fun, but they don't do services to themselves. And I think the goodwill of the community is kinda on a limit. That wasn't the big crazy reveal that everybody was hoping for. It feels like at the beginning, when they announced it, they felt like they said they want to do an RTS for everyone. It feels like they are creating an RTS for no one. Because nobody's really happy with what they see, really. It's also, it feels like they're always a bit behind. They're always one step behind. I said this before, and it doesn't revolutionize the genre, so it could just be an independent choice. But Zero Space has a $10,000 tournament. 1 week later, Stormgate has a $10,000 tournament. Zero Space comes in with a top bar ability. 1 patch later, Stormgate has a top bar ability. We get Battle Aces, the game by David Kim, who uses a lot of easy to recognize rectangular shapes, triangular shapes. 2 days later, they release a triangle faction. Like, it's either they are super unfortunate, but they're always this one step behind. So sad. So it never feels fresh, really, what they're doing. By the way, I have to emphasize again that this one right here, this is probably the coolest moment in any Stormgate footage so far. And I don't feel many will remember it, to be honest.